I'm thinking that everybody did see the stream that Abe did this week addressing Dateline and Bridget.
Correct.
I'm going to give Dateline the floor here in just a second, but me and Stitch is just going to make a couple of our own points first. Abe, you screamed like a psychopath with the most filth out of your mouth on your panel in the middle of the night while we were all asleep. Okay, you continue to want our attention, even though we're constantly telling you we don't even care to fight with you anymore. And I know what it's about, Abe. It's about Jake. We know, we see why you're on the floor, kicking your feet and punching the floor like a 2-year-old. We understand, okay? But it's ridiculous, and I'm going to tell you this. We are going to be redoing our fucking header, and you're going to come out of it, and we are going to let you say whatever the fuck you want to say after today. And you're done over here.
Right, we're gonna take Abe out of it and put Jake in it.
We're done with you now officially. We aren't going. You're not welcome over here. Okay, don't come over here. You're not going to talk about one of my best friends like that after all the shit we've watched you do, honey. Okay, you're done over here. Don't come in here right now and ask for a link because you said on your stream that you would make her leave the panel. No, you won't. You're not coming up here, so don't ask. And say what you want. We're reacting to you no more after today. You know why? We don't have to, Abe. You have sealed your fucking channel. And now I think after the video you kicked and screamed for, because it was like, why don't you make a video on me? Well, you got that video. How'd it feel? And there was a lot of people in this community, because my DM stayed dead fucking blowing up all week, honey. People that were new here never heard you talk like that. They didn't realize how filthy you have been in front of all of us for a long time. Okay? So I'm going to give Dateline a chance to talk. But I know Stitches has a question for you, so I'm gonna let him ask that. But you're done. This is your one and done. We won't be addressing shit with you again. Say what you want. We will stand on our morals. You stand over there on your lack of. We'll see where the community flocks. And that's all I got to say about it. What's up, Bridget? Go ahead, Mike. What was your question to Abe?
So, Abe, you remember all the times I came on your panel and you want to try to paint the narrative saying that I'm a doxer, I hang out with doxers, I support real lifers. Well, isn't it kind of hypocritical of you to be over there on Mark Terry with all the doxers, the ones in the chat, the ones on the panel? Barbie, she even changed her name to mimic you. She's evil Barbie now. You're evil Abe. What are y'all, an evil couple? I mean, I'm just wanting to know. So, do you support doxers? Do you support real lifers? Because look, you're YouTube marrying up one of them, your little girl over there, Barbie, that's showing some stupid ass videos that proves nothing, okay? Except for you better not get in the DMs with her. So you continue on, Abe. Have a nice little time over there. I know why you go to Mark's and you put up with Barbie and all them. It's because your channel's done. It's dead. It's gone. She gone.
Yep.
And you have to go somewhere where that has a little audience so you can be heard. Well, let's see how that works out for you, because I'm done fucking with you. Okay, you know, I try to be nice to you.
We stood up for you, dude.
Right.
Me, Stitches, and Dateline, when you were being called Dina, we all came up here and fucking rode for you, and we weren't even buddies. We stood up for you when someone was calling you that, but you don't like what she had to say about a very disgusting comment, and you want to go to the lowest grit and grime, and you want to say that nasty foul shit about Bridget's dogs. Like, first of all, I hope everybody's paying attention and go watch Dateline's video.
He's worse. Noodles didn't even get descriptive like he did. He got so descriptive in his disgusting comments, where Noodles just said he would travel to a foreign country, which Abe took it like way over the fucking line. Yeah, it's disgusting. And Noodles actually, you know, the fucked up part about that whole thing is, I never watched Noodles before. Like, I knew enough about him to be like, okay, that's not my cup of tea. Like the comments that he made about, and like using it as like a joke. Right. And then the fact that he had that association to Botter, who was like doing all of, and then he took that as a joke too and made like a backdrop on his channel of. So like all of those things, unfortunately, has made it to where Noodles is viewed as Southside, like he's trash, right?
Yeah, I don't fuck with Noodles.
No, but he is no different than Abe. Actually, Abe is worse. So it's kind of funny. And the only reason I made that comment, which is what sparked this whole thing off, was Kimmy K was making a comment in Mark's and talking, because Noodles went up on the panel, and she was like talking about how Schwan put a video up to show how disgusting Noodles is. And I find that like funny, because he has no problem dealing with Abe and sitting on panels with Abe and laughing at all of the things Abe does. And in the past, he even participated in it, but yet he's pushing for the community to shun Noodles, which is not even as bad as Abe. So that's why I made that comment. Of course, that's what, triggered Abe up
That
and
one
got him.
comment made him go fucking manic.
Yep.
Between you and Bridget, he decided to prove to everybody who didn't know how foul he could be, how foul he can still be,
Right.
over one comment.
And I think you're right. I think it's the association to Jake, because we go in and we chat with Jake, because Jake actually, like, you will know your standings with him most times. Like, he can be foul and dirty, but not even to the extent of Abe. Like, Abe, you never know what you're going to get.
Let me explain my situation. Let me explain where I'm coming from for anyone. I can't speak for you guys, but for me, when Stitches and I decided to do this, I had Jake blocked for almost 2 years. Okay. But I decided that really, when I sat and took a look around, that at some point, almost every player in this game got some dirt somewhere. We all pick up something at least once, okay? And we all usually have somebody in our circle that's done something that we would try to fight against, which would make us look hypocritical. So I decided I'm unblocking Jake. I'm putting the gauntlet down with Abe. I told them I was just wanting to start reacting to the community. And since then, Jake has consistently just been chill with me. Do I know the shit that Jake does? Yeah, I know the shit a lot of people do. I'm not here to be the fucking YouTube police. But Abe, he won't do that. He tells you, oh, I like you, oh, this or that. And then the next minute, he finds some reason to be a fucking lunatic. And I'm not going to deal, I'm not going to deal with that inconsistent shit. You can be either consistently be an asshole or be consistently nice to me, but I'm not going to play hot and cold with not a single fucking person here. He's just an asshole and he wants to be addressed, so we're going to give him what he asked for, just like the video. So, Dateline, go ahead and address it the way you wanted to, hun.
Okay. I just wanted to point one thing out before I kind of go back in history, but just the way what people need to think of is the way that Abe works on here. So he's using that comment because it was a DM from Twitter that we had, I think, back in 2020. No, not 2020. 2018. Yeah. It was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Stewie was putting up videos, that clip of Abe saying, that he loved Gun and that he's welcome anytime and stuff like that. And so Abe had messaged me about that whole thing. I think we were talking about something else, and then he brought it up in the conversation, and that's why I said, well, I'm sorry that Stewie is giving you shit about that, because I knew, like, historically they had their ups and downs. It was sort of like what he does with Mangoes and Mark, right? Like, enemy, not enemy, right? But he could always use the fact, and this is what he does, like, he can always say, well, I went against that person. I was never for them. And make it seem like when he was with them, it was almost like a troll. So he kind of gives himself some space for that, and he does it with everybody. Like, you never know where you stand with the guy. Like, one minute he could be good with you, and the next minute he's gonna fucking trash.
So he's coming at Dateline for this one little comment, and it's actually fucking so stupid, because he's bringing up shit from 5 years ago, and half of you motherfuckers weren't even here, nor do you understand what was going on back then. But we all, as a community, dealt with that shit, and everybody moved on, okay? And you're not going to come up here and attack her because she was trying to be a good fucking human and say that this person's been a good person and you don't even have no proof yet. You're not going to come up here and bring, that's sad, Abe. We can sit over here and pull shit you did last year. You got to do it. Go ahead.
And like you said, Tara, because after that whole thing, like, I don't like to get into people's business, okay? I mean, I'll watch, obviously. I mean, YouTube is like drama in our community and people put out their business, but I don't go out seeking to get into people's personal information or their business. I mean, I do it with you. Like, I don't like to get into your business. So that's just me. But
you stopped me before when I was like, I swear to God, I've never gone real life, but I'm this motherfucker. And you were like, Tara, don't do it. Never. It's never worth it. Like, I'll stand behind you on that. You definitely do not believe in going real life when people don't even know what you do for a living and have the ability to go in everybody's real life. But I digress. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do. And that's exactly. because of what I have to do for a living, I have to get in people's business. But on here, I don't. Like, this is my breakaway. And it's actually not morally right for me to use my tools that I use for work for something to bring harm to somebody or to do some. Yeah. So
that's the same with me. That's why I've never used any of my tools on YouTube, not one time.
No. And you know how many times I've had private conversations with people that we mutually are having a problem with, and they will force their information on me. I'll tell them, I don't want it. I don't need it.
That happens to me.
This is just you to me. Yeah, they'll just still give it to me. And I'm like, okay, well,
like, I don't go real life, but thank you.
I don't know what you're trying to do, if you're trying to set me up for something, but I'm letting you know that I don't want it and I don't need it. But I made one exception, and that was Abe. And that was because I almost kind of had a little bit of trauma behind what happened with the gun thing, because I refused to get involved because it really didn't involve me.
Right.
But so in that scenario, I was like, okay, he's being accused of being a predator. I don't exactly remember the term that they said. But I was like, okay, well, kind of really don't want to defend it without knowing to a certain degree, you know. So I was like, okay, I'll make an exception and I'll look. And I used that for good, not for bad against the person. And I didn't even put it public. I was just reassuring Tara privately, letting her know that we can say something because I can legitimately have proof and evidence, not that I would show it, but just for myself to know I feel confident enough to clear this and say, he's not that. He's an asshole. And that's kind of like...
Yeah, because that is why we stood up for you, Abe, because we know you're not a fucking chomo as far as the record shows. But, I mean, you do say some fucking questionable shit.
Right.
Yeah, he has... Actually, the sad part is he has more characteristics than what Gunn had. And that was going to be my whole point. I never saw the behavior. So when people said these things, and it was coming from a group of people that he was fighting with. So it was weaponized. The information was weaponized.
Right.
And so you don't know, like, you see this a lot. Like, all of the men, if you get into a fight with people, I mean, they're automatically going to turn you into... Then anybody who has the gall to stick with you is